associated with water dragons. This rune also has a lot to do with play, curiosity, and other 5th house themes. Coincidentally, Ra is also the name of the Kemetic sun god, and of course, Leo is ruled by the sun. There is a legend in the Vedas where the sun is actually born from water. Next, we have Virgo aligning with LIWAEN, the rune of darkness and shadow dragons. This is also the point right before the halfway point in this cycle of 12 and the zodiacal cycle. It is in between the shadow of LIWAEN and the blazing warmth of Li, which is next, that the phrase, "it's always darkest before the dawn," can be best applied. Before the sunrise over a new horizon can happen, as literally seen in the Libra glyph, the dark will be at an all-time black, and the night air will also usually be at an all-time cold, complete yin energy. LIWAEN is literally cold fire, and what seems like harsh withdrawal into oneself can actually be interpreted as the inner hermitage that must happen for the aware Virgoan to become a master. Libra, as I stated above, aligns with Li, the red earthly fire, and the sunrise, a new dawn. Scorpio aligns with LIAAN, appropriately because of the inherent intensity in Scorpio. This sign is able to burn brightly, and in order to light up the dark places as Scorpio does so well, one must be a light. LIAAN is that magenta earthly light, which also emanates from Li. Next we have Sagittarius aligning with Mah, the purple earthly wind. It is no surprise since Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and in Greek tradition, Jupiter had to do with the air element. Jupiter itself is also named after the sky, thunder, and lightning deity, all of which Mah is also associated with as well. We continue with Capricornian NINATHEN, which is the indigo earthly nature rune. This rune represents the clan of forest dragons, as well as those who resonate with life in its more recognized form as plants, fungi, animals, etc. After this, we have the foundation-based power that is found in THAAN, expressed in Aquarius, where Capricorn provides the physical means to become what one desires, with the Mars exaltation in Capricorn. Aquarius shows what all that becoming was really for, which is real freedom in the feeling of true connection and no one ever being left behind. Finally, at the end of this transmutation cycle, if you've noticed, we have the final crystallization of WAETHAN as Pisces. This is where the most refined element of metal or crystal shines. So it's basically earth that has been condensed and packed in and refined on itself to become the next stage of formation, of physical formation. After this rune disseminates along with its background into ZHUKAYA, it becomes recapitulated into the next cycle, which is the same zodiacal cycle, but according to these next runes. So here I'll show the first cycle of 12, along with the zodiac signs. But now that we've got to ZHUKAYA, we're gonna get into the second cycle, beginning with SHAAN. Another interesting thing to note about these cycles is that each pair of runes that are associated with a zodiac sign will always be opposite colors, perfectly opposite. So SHAAN, when compared to DRAKANEAL, SHAAN is red, DRAKANEAL is green. What's after SHAAN? DEIGOMAH. DEIGOMAH is magenta, as compared to SHOREN's chartreuse, and the cycle goes on like that. See what I'm saying? And ZHUKAYA is the portal rune, the double portal rune that flips that, as well as ATHIHAN and ABANEN, which we spoke on earlier. But anyways, let's get into this second cycle. SHAAN is the red heavenly light and is known also as the mage rune. This is the period when great magic is learned by the citizens of the realm. It aligns with Aries in a rather Promethean way this time around, symbolizing the fire of enlightenment and awakening to one's inner powers, rather than the focused, combustive friction of DRAKANEAL. After SHAAN, we have DEIGOMAH, aligning with Taurus. Where the light of SHAAN empowered many individuals, it is and was and will always be those individuals themselves who decide what to do with their newly rekindled power. This is where the tainted storm aspect of DEIGOMAH comes in, symbolized as two poles of non-conforming dualities living within one body, as seen very clearly in DEIGOMAH's Nakshatra association, which we'll get into with this video. But DEIGOMAH's Nakshatra association is Vishaka, a nakshatra that is very well known for being a dualistic nakshatra ruled by Indragni, or Indra and Agni together in one. So DEIGOMAH, I like to think of zodiacally in the cycles of the zodiac as DEIGOMAH being kind of like a bull in a china shop. Taurus is a bull in a china shop, you know? So DEIGOMAH becomes, after this experience of the tainted storm, becomes purple ATHIHAN and a Geminian energy. Here there is authenticity embodied, and the chaos of DEIGOMAH is quelled by the will of a few to truly be authentic. This inspires others throughout the society and also preps the collective soul for THAANRATHI. KAEGOS is the Cancerian relative balance that is acquired after ATHIHAN, or Gemini. There may be peaceful times here, but there's little new reached out for, and it is a very keep to yourself and mind your business type of energy during this time period. THAANRATHI corresponds with Leo, as both are the main character and leader, king, queen, etc. archetypes. After this comes Virgo and ATHANEN, a time of many's reevaluations to their devotion to themselves. Very important. Here, the action of dreaming is perfected and honed, and we begin to realize really how big we actually are meant to dream, because the inspiration of the champion in THAANRATHI inspires us. That inspires us to dream big and to know that it's possible. After this, we have Libra with SHOREN, which is a time of knowledge, progress, and truly widespread enlightenment. So this is where we're getting into the utopian vibe now, okay? After THAANRATHI, it sort of becomes a heavenly realm. It becomes a paradisic realm. So Libra and SHOREN lead into Scorpionic NANEN. This is a time of deep soulmate bonding that reflects the same energy as both Scorpio and the 8th house. IONALI comes naturally next, which is a warming Sagittarian heart fire, and which is a passionate fire that those who did not find their partners in NANEN are able to find an inner union within themselves by honing their crafts and their abilities. That's sort of what IONALI is. Then comes Capricornian DRAKANEAL, a time for healing, soul kin remembrances, and dragon beauty, as it is called. Beauty in reference and reverence to truth. Next up, we have the Aquarian revolutionary ZHUKAYA, which is a time for reckoning and final adjustments to the karmic and omniversal balance. And then the second cycle completes in Vermilion Piscean ABANEN, the sky dream that ascends to heaven, only to disassemble in the white primordial light of the final portal rune SAGITTARIUS, which reverts back to RATANEN, begins the cycle again. So this all is what I mean, not only by the weaving of colors, but also by the zodiacal cycles as shown in the runes. It's a way for us to observe the essential natures of these runes, how they move on their own and how they move as a collective, and how they transform into one another in sequence based on the psychic imprints of the runes themselves and of the colors associated. And how do these subconscious associations that we have with those colors each also apply to the characteristics of the runes? You know what I'm saying? Because we certainly do associate colors with like the same types of archetypes. However, based on what culture you're from and based on how you were raised, and even based on just your personality and your psychology, you might have different connections to different colors that other people might not have. With the zodiac signs associated, we can allow our understanding of the zodiacal cycle to find sequential harmony within and throughout the cycle of the colors as well. The 12 signs provide a strong nexus of support since they are essentially and consistently a 12-step story, however one chooses to look at them. Now we're going to get into the celestial spheres. I'm not going to talk too much about these because I haven't gotten that deep into them yet, but I'm just going to let you know the associations with the cycle of exhalation. The first celestian associated with ATHANEN is the Sun. The second celestian associated with DRAKANEAL is Mercury. The third celestian associated with SHOREN is Venus. The fourth celestian associated with ATHIHAN is the Moon. The fifth celestian associated with MA'ERHEN is Earth. The sixth celestian associated with Ra is Mars. The seventh celestian associated with LIWAEN is Ceres. The eighth celestian associated with Li is Pallas. The ninth celestian associated with LIAAN is Vesta. The 10th celestian associated with Ma is Psyche. The 11th celestian associated with NINATHEN is Jupiter. The 12th celestian associated with THAAN is Pholus. The 13th celestian associated with WAETHAN is Saturn. Saturn would be 13, you know what I mean? The 14th celestian associated with ZHUKAYA is Chiron. The 15th celestian associated with SHAAN, very appropriately so, is Uranus. And by the way, all of these celestians go in the order of their proximity to the sun, if you haven't noticed. We started with the sun, we went to Mercury, went to Venus, then we went to the moon, and there's reasons for that I will get into in another video. But then we went to Earth, then we kept going out and out and out, and that's why it's a cycle of exhalation. It's a cosmic breath. Okay, so the 16th celestian associated with DEIGOMAH is Neptune. The 17th celestian associated with ATHIHAN is Ixion. The 18th celestian associated with KAEGOS is Orcus. The 19th celestian associated with THAANRATHI is Pluto. The 20th celestian associated with ATHANEN is Quawar. The 21st celestian associated with SHOREN is Haumea. The 22nd celestian associated with NANEN is Varuna. The 23rd celestian associated with IONALI is Salacia or Salacia. The 24th celestian associated with DRAKANEAL is Makemake. The 25th celestian associated with ZHUKAYA is ARIES. The 26th celestian associated with ABANEN is Gong Gong. And the 27th celestian associated with SAGITTARIUS is Sedna. And that's the 27 celestians. We'll get into that deeper on another day. But if you'd like to get into it a little bit deeper, you can always check out the article that I will link down in the description. Next, we're going to get into the 27 Nakshatras and the 27 dragon runes. It's amazing, actually, because when I first met the dragon runes, immediately the number 27 stood out to me. And 27 is a special number. It's 3 by 3 by 3, 3 times 3 times 3. So as I got deeper into the dragon runes, I got deeper into the Nakshatras too. I don't know. But I'll make a separate video on most of these chapters that we're going over. Might make a series or something like that. But anyways, let's get into it. First, we have ATHANEN associated with Ashvini. And we have Drakani associated with Bharani. Notice the phonetic similarity of the Ani in Drakani and Bharani, right? Then we have SHOREN associated with Kritika. And we have ATHANEN associated with Rohini. We have MA'urhen associated with Mrigashira. We have Ra associated with Ardra. We have LIWAEN associated with Punarvashu. We have Li associated with Pushya. We have LIAAN associated with Ashlesha. We have Ma associated with Makha. We have NINATHEN associated with Purva Falguni. We have THAAN associated with Uttra Falguni. We have WAETHAN associated with Hasta. We have ZHUKAYA associated with Chitra. We have SHAAN associated with Swati. We have DEIGOMAH associated with Vishakha. We have ATHIHAN associated with Anuradha. We have KAEGOS associated with Jeshta. We have THAANRATHI associated with Mula. We have ATHANEN associated with Purva Ashada. We have SHOREN associated with Uttra Ashada. We have NANEN associated with Shravana. We have IONALI associated with Danishta. We have DRAKANEAL associated with Shatabisha. We have ZHUKAYA associated with Purva Bhadrapada. We have ABANEN associated with Uttra Bhadrapada. And we have SATIHAN associated with Revati. Okay? So, what we're going to talk about next, to wrap all this up, is basically I'm going to tell you the prayer and the breath practice that I utilize, that I've been channeled by my dragons to utilize, that I've been taught, that I've been given. It's called the Dragon Decree. I've called it the Dragon Decree. I've called it the 100-fold Dragon Breath. When I do it 3 times, I just do it once now because I've been called to do it just once and to focus on myself rather than on like sharing and others. But the difference is that with the 100-fold Dragon Breath, I do the entire 27 decrees. Then I do them again, but I utilize the pronoun we. And then I do them again, and I utilize the pronoun I. So that's the 100-fold Dragon Breath. But there's also a 33-fold Dragon Breath that utilizes the 27 runes, and it's just about I. And you can do either one. Like I said, I've been called to utilize the I one more so that I focus more upon myself, because I have a tendency to like look outside of myself for validation. So yeah. But anyways, let's get into this. Ratanen. Ratanen's Dragon Decree is virtue, I am. Recall that Ratanen is associated with Ashvini Nakshatra and the sun. Drakani, honor, I follow. Recall that Drakani is associated with Bharani Nakshatra and the planet Mercury. Okay? SHOREN, justice, I command. Recall that SHOREN is associated with Kritika Nakshatra and with Venus. ATHANEN. Now this one is important, and I found it to be in great alignment with the Nakshatras, because in Rohini is the moon's favorite wife. The legend goes that the 27 star fields are all wives of the moon, and the moon has a favorite wife in Rohini Nakshatra. Now, when it comes to the dragon runes as well, ATHANEN, which aligns with Rohini, is also a special rune. And the moon as a Celestian is a very special Celestian, because the moon is Earth's, our home planet's, only satellite. So we communicate with the heavens through the moon, okay? So ATHANEN's Dragon Decree is, courage is my truth, of which I am, a light of unitive hope in the face of seeming separation, okay? That's ATHANEN aligned with Rohini and aligned with the moon. Next, we have MA'urhen, truth is my destiny, aligned with Earth and aligned with Mrigashira Nakshatra. Next, we have Ra, Hope is my perseverance, aligned with Ardra and aligned with Mars. And then we have LIWAEN. Honesty is my morality, aligned with Ceres and aligned with Punarvashu. Next we have Li. Trust is my clarity, aligned with Pushya as well as with Palace. And we have LIAAN. Patience is my faith, aligned with Ashlesha and aligned with Vesta. And we have Mah. Grace is my guidance, aligned with Magha Nakshatra. Notice the Ma. Notice the phonetic similarity between Mah and Magha. Grace is my guidance, and Ma is aligned with Magha, as I've said, and the Celestian of Psyche. Next we have NINATHEN. Repentance is my peace. NINATHEN, aligned with Purva Falguni and aligned with Jupiter. And then we have THAAN. Redemption is my throne. THAAN, aligned with Uttara Falguni and aligned with Pholus. Now we have WAETHAN. Gratitude is my respect, aligned with Hasta Nakshatra, as well as aligned with Saturn as the Celestian. And we have Takaya. Strength is my voice, aligned with Chiron as a Celestian and aligned with Chitra Nakshatra. After Takaya comes SHAAN. Freedom is my choice, aligned with Svati Nakshatra and aligned with the planet, the Celestian Uranus. We have DEIGOMAH. Love is my home. DEIGOMAH is aligned with Neptune as a Celestian and with Vishaka Nakshatra. ATHIHAN has the decree of authenticity is my responsibility and is aligned with Anuradha as well as with Ixion as a Celestian. KAEGOS has the decree of remembrance is my art and aligns with Jyeshta Nakshatra as well as with the Celestian of Orcus. THAANRATHI has the dragon decree of revolution is my start and aligns with Mula Nakshatra as well as with the Celestian Pluto. ATHANEN is next, and ATHANEN's dragon decree is devotion is my middle. ATHANEN aligns with Purva Ashadha as well as with the planet Quawar. Next we have SHOREN. SHOREN's dragon decree is knowing is my end. And SHOREN, sometimes I do layer up this dragon decree when I'm doing my breath work. Not only knowing is my end, but knowing life is my end, knowing wealth is my end, knowing abundance, knowing safety, knowing thriving, knowing pleasure, knowing peace, knowing grace. Because you got to know something, you know what I mean? You know? So, victory also. Knowing is my end is SHOREN's dragon decree. And SHOREN aligns with the nakshatra of Uttara Ashadha, also having much to do with victory. And the Celestian associated with SHOREN is Haumea. NANEN has the dragon decree of earth is my foundation and aligns with the Celestian of Varuna and the nakshatra of Shravana. IONALI has the dragon decree of water is my life and aligns with Tanishta nakshatra as well as with the Celestian of Celesia. DRAKANEAL has the dragon decree of air is my breath and aligns with Shatabisha Nakshatra, as well as with the Celestian of Makemake. ZHUKAYA has the dragon decree of fire is my momentum. Also, I like to use fire is my belonging. ZHUKAYA aligns with the nakshatra Purva Bhadrapada and the Celestian of ARIES. ABANEN has the dragon decree spirit is my spark and aligns with the nakshatra Uttara Bhadrapada as well as the Celestian of Gong Gong. And finally, SATIHAN has the dragon decree of God, as in great omnipresent divinity, is my heart, and aligns with the nakshatra of Revati and with the Celestian of Sedna. So that's about it for the associations. Now, just to wrap this up, I wanted to say the dragon runes are unique in divination systems because since dragons are the first beings emanated from God, they are the most ancient and yet were recently revived in modern times. So think about that. Dragons were the first beings emanated from God. Dragon runes are the basic, like, foundational storytelling device, but also like phase change describer, I'd say change describer that goes by the number 3, that allows itself to flow by the number 3 multiplied on itself. So because of all this, because of the dragon runes being such an ancient thing actually, and in addition to that, because of them being revived in modern times in the way that they were in April 2001, they're incredibly unique. And I think dragons themselves are a really primordial archetype, being perfectly representative of the one underlying thread of primal authenticity that exists in all cultures' mythos. To not only know that dragons exist, but also to feel their very real culture through these runes makes me very grateful to be alive and living in this reality. Truly, I'm so glad that I have chosen a reality where I cannot deny that dragons exist, where I cannot lie to myself. You know what I'm saying? It makes me know that dreams are for real. Because of the runes connection with actual dragons, and because of the experiences I have had with both dragons and the runes, I know the dragon runes to be truthfully communicative as a foundational system. Not only in terms of detailed simplicity and perfect ability to mirror the querent's own energy, doing so by way of having the number 3 as their foundation, but also in the vast potential that they have to reach other practitioners and future practitioners of the Dragon's Path too. So, the Dragon's Path is known to be a very adaptable path, right? It really is. It's known to be an incredibly adaptable path. In that way, people like me, people like other dragon practitioners, we align with our own types of systems. We build our own systems. This is part of the system that I'm building and that I want you, if you feel called to utilize so that you can master yourself in bigger, better, more beautiful, more truthful, and authentic ways. All right. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment if you want to talk about anything. You know, I'm really open to having conversations with y'all, and peace.